We start with that news breaking in the last hour or so. Ukraine says it has attacked and destroyed a Russian patrol ship with naval drones in the Black Sea. Ukrainian military intelligence says the vessel, the Sergei Kotov, was hit near the Kerch Bridge, connecting Russia with occupied Crimea. This video was posted on social media and it appears to show the moment of explosion. A Ukrainian military intelligence spokesman says the ship has definitely been destroyed. Russian officials have yet to comment. Well, let's go live now to Kyiv and our correspondent Abdu Rasulov. Just take us through what we know then. We've seen the video. Just explain what we think it shows.
Well, according to Ukraine's military intelligence agency, the drones managed to successfully hit and destroy the Russian ship Sergei Kotov. It's a corvette, and allegedly there were 5 drones used in the attack, and the battle lasted for about 40 minutes. And what is interesting is that Ukrainian drones tried to attack this very same ship in the past twice, and the third attempt seems to be successful. And even though we still haven't heard any comments from Russian officials, Russian military bloggers admit that that ship, Sergei Kotov, has been lost. And it is quite important because it just shows you this trend that Russia is failing to have a dominance in the Black Sea. And despite the fact that Ukraine's fleet is no match to Russia's, they still manage to hit and destroy a number of Russian vessels. And they have had a number of successful attacks in the past. And therefore, Russia is unable to launch airstrikes, for example, from the Black Sea, or launch any attacks, amphibious attacks. So that's why this this incident is quite important.
And just tell us how it's being reported in Ukraine. Clearly, it's the Ukraine military service that's released these images that we're watching now.
Well, yes, these images were also discussed by our colleagues from BBC Verify, and the outlines of the ship appears to match the same class, the same type of those vessels, the corvette, like Sergei Kotov, and therefore we believe that that video appears to show the very same ship that is claimed to be destroyed. And the attack happened at night, and those drones that are operated by the Ukrainian military intelligence agency, they have the night visions, and therefore they are able to launch these attacks at night. And when Russian military are not expecting major attacks.
OK, Abdullah, we'll leave it there for the moment. But interesting, you were talking about the fact that BBC Verify has been looking at those images as well. Let's speak to Alexander Lord, an expert on the Russian Navy and at the risk analysis advisory company Sibylline. Thank you for joining us and talking to us. This news obviously just breaking in the last hour or so. What's your assessment as to how significant this strike is from the Ukrainian perspective?
Absolutely. So this is just the latest in a very successful, it has to be said, Ukrainian maritime counter-offensive that we've seen over the last 6 months. Obviously, the 2023 counter-offensive on land failed to achieve major strategic or operational objectives. Quite the opposite is unfolding at sea, where the Ukrainians have distinctly inflicted significant damage onto the Russian Black Sea fleet. If this is confirmed, this would this latest attack would mean that the Black Sea fleet has lost around a quarter of its surface fleet. That is a significant proportion of Russia's maritime capabilities in the Black Sea region, which will have not only an impact on Ukraine's ability to continue exporting grain via the Odesan ports through the Western Black Sea and pushing back Russia's maritime and naval blockade. But of course, it will also have an impact on Russia's ability to utilize these warships to fire long-range cruise missiles at Ukrainian targets, which has been the case throughout this war.
And there's video been posted on social media of this attack, and we understand it's been carried out by naval drones. Now, we think more about drones in the sky, but I think sea drones have become increasingly used. How significant are they? Is this a new development in the war?
Absolutely. So this is an area of innovation which the Ukrainians are really spearheading, and they've put a lot of resources into developing this new form of maritime capability. Now, naval drones aren't necessarily new to this war, but what we are seeing is the operational development at pace of this new technology. The Ukrainians are operating numerous types of unmanned or uncrewed maritime drones, and they have been utilized to great effect throughout this war. This is an area where the Ukrainians will continue to innovate as well. And of course, this is putting a significant strain on Russia's maritime defenses. These surface vessels are incredibly vulnerable to these sorts of attacks. And I think it's particularly notable that the Sergei Kotov was attacked near the Kerch Strait, which of course is east of Crimea. So while the success of the Ukrainian maritime campaign has forced the Russian surface fleet to move ever eastwards, this latest attack is just the latest indication that the Ukrainians are innovating longer range maritime drones, and essentially they can reach the Russian surface fleet wherever they are in the Black Sea. So this is something that the Ukrainians will continue to develop. And as the Ukrainians are on the back foot on land, I think it's clear that this latest attack indicates that the Russians are on the back foot at sea.
Yeah, just take us through, because obviously we know how important Russia's Black Sea fleet is. Just take us through the damage that Ukraine has managed to inflict.
Absolutely. So the Ukrainians over the last 6 months have claimed many, and we've confirmed many losses for the surface fleet in particular. We have corvettes, patrol ships, as this latest attack was, and also, I think, crucially, landing vessels, landing craft. Now, in the early phases of the invasion, numerous Black Sea Fleet surface vessels, including landing craft, were maneuvering ominously off the coast of Odesa, threatening a naval invasion. Obviously, since then, the Russians are on the back foot at sea. They have lost a significant proportion of their amphibious landing capability, to such an extent that essentially this is no longer a threat to the western Ukrainian coast. The Russians have made it pretty clear in their rhetoric, in official declarations, that they want Odesa, they consider Odesa a Russian city. But the threat from the sea is significantly less now than it was in early 2022.
Alexander Lord, we will have to leave it there for the moment, but thank you for your insight there.